Respiratory introjection. A Freudian concept of childhood fantasy. One may inhale, take in through the nose, the sense or image of someone as a way of keeping him close, to incorporate the lost object. A need to always feel them, use of self-compression, to contain and buffer feelings of loss, pain, and abandonment. Boiling energy may be used for a skill, talent, or performance, to be pumped up and just do it, way of motion. The increase in inner fires may move one beyond normal and cause some tingling or shaking of the body or some particular zone. The rare air of performance or guided healing may be used to achieve superordinary levels of accomplishment, especially as a result of many boosts that SAVANT energy reinforcement.
In afternoon baseball, Sammy Sosa went deep again, but the Cubs lost again.
Ultrasound frustration. One must reintegrate beyond frustration of jolts and seek renewed purpose as unity of desire, to become congruent with the energy of the universe, to seek to maintain steady states within, to rebalance to one's natural state of equilibrium. Stress, surfacing a variety of emotional states where one's fundamental value is threatened. The circumstances demand one to marshal resources to reintegrate an act, a magical act of being, beyond angers, fears, wounds, lack of self-esteem, and debilitating states of shame. Fatigue. Exhaustion may occur if one's adaptation energy is depleted. Rest and restoration may not be able to reestablish one's resistance system to 100% levels. One must tune into one's ongoing needs for healthy, regular strengthening maintenance. Ultrasound hypnotic effect. One may be in a highly suggestible state when one receives amplification of emotion, wish, desire, or skill. The current may surface a need or an impulse which mesmerizes. A blind spot is the heart of the dream state. The enhanced state is electrified receptivity and subject to fantasy, imagination, and potentially to implanted ideas, suggestions in emotional, highly charged states, energy combustion, savanting, channeling, medium, electronic circuitry. Psychic self-defense. Dion Fortune states, a psychic may have excess energy and therefore be imbalanced. Over-engined for his hull rather than under-hulled for his engines. The psychic may be unstable, liable to violent emotional reactions, aberrations of conduct associated with artistic genius. A psychic must be trained, disciplined, protected, watched over by those who understand his condition and special needs. Without focus, his or her psychism is subject to the whims of influence. The psychic medium or sensitive savant must continuously reintegrate as sensory overloads due to exceptional receptivity occur. The energy must be incorporated to manage the discrepancy between force and form while avoiding the absorption of someone else's toxicity. Savanting, systematic and intentional, recurrent and repetitive conditionings to direct desire and manifest an exceptional level of energy channeling, a high-performance medium.
That's according to Gerald Clark, who's written Get Happy, a new biography.
An ultrasound electromagnetic radio wave frequency vibratory state of mediums, messengers, and channels.
Garland's triumphs and tragedies have been exhaustively chronicled. But Clark had
an emotional desert.
recently discovered
the mediums are remote-controlled, universal product codes, barcode scans, have value, watched and observed. Wall Street takes care of its own. The have-to-have marketplace, who doesn't understand what haves value? Dubbed exchanges flowing, a media land of dreamers knowing the price.
Clark's research included audio tapes.
Your words are not your own.
3 years before her death.
The pyramid trickles down.
I'm a lady who's I'm big, insulted, slandered, humiliated, but still America's sweetheart.
She was talking into a tape recorder in her house in Brentwood in California. The whole world, she felt, was coming down on her, and it was.
I tried my damn best. In the rainbow that I tried to get over it, and I couldn't.
The Internal Revenue Service was about to take her house for back taxes. She had no money, absolutely no money.
That life included 5 husbands, 50 movies, drug
Ultrasound accentuates a state of motion, intent, or flow. In effect, it bypasses criticalness like a form of hypnotism.
More than 30
Ultrasound blocks the memory of the moment. It stops time for as long as it's placed in use. The signal tones build up an excess of transmitter substances, acetylcholine, present at a synapse location, so that the signal cannot transmit excitation from one cell to another. Repetitive and recurrent amplification. An emotional desert. Who do you get to look at directly in the eye? An emotional desert. Your words are not your own. An emotional desert. The speed of light. An emotional desert. Coming at you, coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. A current manager has total control of one's circumstances, choices, options, and relationships. The opportunities and encounters, the intersections, all are moments of potential amplification. The trade-offs of development versus monitoring, co-optation never end. Hypervigilance and fatigue are a direct consequence of always being ready. The rewards must eventually feel worth it to justify an ongoing consciousness of oppressiveness. The will of the current manager is imposed, direction and suggestion, influencing one to comply while in vulnerable states. A process of integrative person-making and the emphasis and direction of deference to transmitted wisdom. One is taught to extend his sphere of concern and embrace the interests of the community, to become authoritative and circumspect in what one says and does. The identification and articulation of interests and importances, the use of words and naming. The goal is code, she, to overcome the self, to control oneself. Self-cultivation as guided.
What was very strange and eerie, everything to the north of that fracture began to vibrate. Then we began to watch the whole north half of the volcano fall away. So as we watched, we began to see the blast coming up directly beneath us.
The earthquake triggered the biggest landslide ever recorded. 8 billion tons of rock went crashing down the side of Mount St. Helens. In an instant, the landslide had released the pressure packed inside the mountain, and it blew, not upwards, but sideways.